Alright, guys. Welcome. It is time for the grand finals of the Team Liquid Star League 5. Of course, this is all being cast live already by some true professionals. But you guys now get a bit more of an analytical cast. I'll do a bit of rewinding at the end of games, going back to go, what the hell do I think he could have done better? What was the key details that really decided the game? What could have changed? And trying to just understand the player's point of views a little bit more. Obviously, I won't always hit the mark. I will sometimes miss important details. StarCraft's an incredibly deep and complicated game, and I am by no means the repository for all knowledge. I do, occasionally people get angry. They say, you said something wrong. Weren't you watching Lambo's stream yesterday at 3:42 a.m. Sydney local time when he explained this detail about this build order? How don't you know it? Do you not love StarCraft? Are you a bloody tryhard piece of shit? And you don't even care about the fact that you are so lucky you get to do StarCraft as a job. And I go, what are we talking about? And they go, shut the fuck up, pig, stop casting. I'm like, whoa! Anyways, I know that's like the 1%, but let's talk, let's cast, let's see what happens. Remember, this man up here in the top right, he has not lost a game the entire finals. I had a little bit of a rant about how you should always get an advantage for that. I don't know, get a bunch of bonus money, get a 1-0 advantage in the finals, but they decided in this tournament, no advantage, you haven't dropped a set, your opponent has. I believe he actually lost to you earlier in this tournament. I think it was it? Did Inno lose to SoO earlier in the tournament? I feel like we cast this series on my channel a week or two ago, and I've already forgotten. Let me know in chat, guys. Jamie, look that one up, please. Up here in the top right, guys, representing the Africa Freaks, the undefeated to this point, going into the grand finals in the blue, it is SoO. Down here in the bottom left-hand side in the red, representing Kaizi Gaming, managed to defeat Trap with Mech TVP in that. Oh, did we just spoiler it? Well, we did. You've already clicked on the game. If you don't... There's someone who's like, I only watch on your YouTube and you spoil it. I'm like, well, isn't it obvious if you clicked on the game and he's in the finals and the other guy isn't? And I think we're safe. I think we're in the clear. We're in the clear, and this SCV right here is in the rear with the gear. So we are going to see... Ooh, second Marine. He wants to snipe the Overlord on this pillar, but the reason you never do this against SoO is SoO never scouts with his Overlord. Innovation, did you not do your homework, mate? SoO never scouts with his Overlords. He sends them to the safest side edges of the map. He never sends them into the base. SoO is a hater of losing his early Overlord. SoO very rarely goes Overlord speed because he doesn't care about scouting. SoO is the guy who wants to have the most perfect head start on his economy in the early game. And that's why really against SoO, I'm not the biggest fan of the double Marine opening. That being said, I mean, it goes well into the third command center, so I guess I'm hating on the Marines because normally that's for like, you float a barracks and you try to cut off the Overlord. It's still a quick third command center. It's a good economy opening, especially if you can block this third. You already had an SCV patrolling earlier. Now the Reaper's hanging out. You can do quite well. Funnily, SoO is going old school and going for a 4-queen 2-base Muta opening. We're going to see a lair startup as soon as that queen pops out. Second gas goes down. For a second, I was like, what the fuck is he going 4 queens for? Now, this is one of my least favorite 2-base Muta openings because you delay the lair so much getting that 4th queen out. On the other hand, though, it does give you more flexibility with like your macro and kind of the depth of your build, I guess. So what I mean by that is you've got great creep spread really early. And you know what? Inno hasn't seen the third. He's just like, what the fuck? What are you doing here, man? Like, I see creep, I see queens. That makes you feel safe because these are all signs of the Zerg going later into the game. But you really need to verify there's a third down and try to figure out, is it mutas? Is it a Nidus Worm? What's the next step? The reason I don't like this build, like I said, is the lair's kind of late. So the mutas or the Nidus Worm, whatever you go for, it does end up hitting quite a bit later. And because of that, I feel like it does lose a little bit of its edge in terms of how hard you're hitting with that tech, and especially going up against the third command center build. I feel like Inno, I mean, as long as he's not messing up any of his early engagements, which he's showing no sign of doing, he's gonna have a crazy economy. I just want to see that second and third barracks go down right now, and he's already lifting that factory. Second barracks is going to get placed. He's already got a reactor there, which is going to float onto the reactors, the starport's reactor. I kind of see this as being like the mutas arrive. There's a 30-second window where they're kind of annoying. And then Inno's like, I have 2 medevacs and stim marines and I'm pushing you. And SoO's going to be on like a very low worker count. He's going to be trapped on that worker count. He doesn't get any extra information with that Overseer, except that there's a Viking out and there's a bunch of Marines blocking his scouting. There's a few Hellions. Now, it is important for those to go slow down the creep and threaten a little bit, because as much as you look at this and you're like, well, SoO's economy sucks, his creep spread is absolutely unstoppable right now. It's incredible. It's way out there. It's kicking butt. And, I mean, these Hellions need to go up there and rotate. Oh, they're not going to catch these tumors before they finish. It's a bit of a shame there. Yeah, they're going to catch 2 of them. Something. Viking comes in, does get pushed back by the Queen. That spy is finished. 5 mutas starting up. So as I said, very slow to saturate the 3rd. You're going to be really behind on getting a 4th hatchery and a macro hatcher SoO. Notice he goes straight for the gases. Rather than trying to catch up, get quick hatcheries, and give yourself that proper Zergling Baneling production, it really does bank on the muta style, and that's what he's going to go for. He's going to go single Evo. No, he does actually get 2 Evos, so he's going to go double upgrades. Much behind, of course. 1-1 already well on the way for the Terran. But he's going to try to go Banelings, mutas, quick Bane speed, already on the way. And it's going to be really about these high-tech units and the creep spread exploding behind the control that they give, right? It's hard for innovation to keep the pressure up once these mutas are out. The Viking goes down. The Hellions are one of your big pieces of insurance against a Ling Bane bust, so you've got to be careful not to lose those Hellions. So we have turrets up. 1 in the main. Nothing guarding the production right now. Just a stim to help zone out those mutas. I'd love to see a turret up here as well. Do we have one up in the 3rd middle line? We do. So all things considered, Inno's looking really good right now. As long as he gets that armory down and his 2-2 started right on time, he will be looking very, very good in the mid game. The mutas not really finding much just yet. And this is what I was talking about. There's 30 seconds where the mutas are like, yeah, we're in control. And now I feel like Inno can just start pushing forward with Marines and clearing creep. He's up to 5 barracks. He's got tanks building. He's got medevacs building. Hellions on the north. Marines pushing through the middle. His 3rd fully saturated. The armory starts. It's not going to be able to start 2-2 immediately, but that's actually okay. Ooh, he manages to grab a Mutt-Mutt. Another one very low there. This is going to force SoO to make Banelings as well. He's already got 6 Banelings and about 30 Zerglings. It's a very good ambush army. So SoO right now, he's only up a handful of workers. With mules, that's really bad, especially with how far behind you are on the upgrades and your 4th base being so slow. But if he can surround this and kill it, that's where Inno struggles. Run to the siege tanks. Those Hellions, man. It's a lot of threat. Does snip off the end of the creep. There's still good creep on the north side, but can you defend this 4th base? That's the question. Now, Queens are going to come in and try to tank the siege tank shots, funnily enough. And I love this spread. Those Marines guarding the tanks. Hellbats morphing. Just spread the Hellbats out. And, I mean, the Banelings, this is going to be such a bad fight for SoO, I think. Queens coming forward. They take the siege tank shots, but Innovation quickly refocus fires on the Banelings with those. And the Speed Banes get some good connections on the Hellbats. There is one more tank back here, but Inno maintains position. At this point, you see how much Ling Bane there is as Inno. He starts 2-2 up now. They were very delayed because he was focused on the micro, focused on rallying. I think just hold this position and chill. Don't overextend. I almost wouldn't mind Inno pulling back. I feel like SoO's a guy who really wants these mid-game engagements. His creep spread is so pinned back, but he's got a big army right now. It's 1-1 versus 1-1. The tank on siege is the Ling Bane. Oh, it comes in. There's another tank to the left, which is going to help, but so many Banelings, and they get some great connections on the right. On the left, the Marines do win, but the mutas take the tanks. They take a bunch of a bruising, and they pull back. It's a good engagement there for SoO, who always manages to hang on in these scenarios. I feel like things weren't looking good from the opening, but after clearing those tanks, it feels great. Second factory is only now on the way. It's going to be a long time before the Widow Mines are hitting the field. Remember, this is played, of course, on the last patch. Patch just came out, so these Widow Mines need that Drilling Claws upgrade. It is on the way. First Thor's on the way. And I think that 4th command center just feels a little late, right? Inno really felt like he wanted to do a lot more damage there, and didn't really find it. So SoO now with map control says, cool, let's drone up. Let's get a 5th base with this rich gas. I'd love to see an infestation pit in the near future, and a little bit more focus on the creep spread from SoO would make me incredibly happy. And he's doing it. Creep's starting to spread in all angles, all directions. Especially, this is the spread I never get. I always forget to have a spotting unit there to actually spread through the middle. But 4 CCs on the way, concussive shells now as well. The 6th, 7th, 8th barracks are coming down. Innovation's favorite barracks. Not opting for those too early in this game, but he's going to get those up now. So this one's going to go a lot longer. Infestation Pit has started. Are we going to see 3-3 immediately? It feels like Inno is being so defensive right now that he might just do that. That Marine. Unfortunately, not a match for 17 Mutalisks. This one down here says, maybe I can win this fight, though. Of course, just a few scouting Marines, just getting a bit of map vision. Shuts down the Changelings. 4th Command Center floating down. As the Widow Mine count grows, that can give you a lot of strength against your opponent. And yeah, 3-3 starts up straight away. Meanwhile, SoO is not really focused on that hive. His drone count's not that insane, but it's getting really healthy. It's been good, and now it's getting to like 84 drones. I'm staring at the hive because I'm wondering, well, you know, I feel like this is SoO. He's getting hive now. Yeah, a bit of delay. If there's one thing that's so scary about playing SoO, he doesn't need to tech as fast as other players because he's so good at his mid-game engagements. His creep is just everywhere. And all he wants is Inno to step on creep right now so he can just crush his army and win the game. Like, one fight where the Terran or the other player just oversteps just a little bit is often how you see SoO win. He's just like, oh, can you come a little bit deeper, please? Come a little bit deeper. Whoa! He's going to just run forward. Yeah, just spreads through. He's trying to... Oh, my God. Get the fuck out of there, Inno. Run, run, run. He just lost way too many Marines to that. Where's Inno's army right now? A lot of it's back there. And yeah, SoO just wants to go, man. There's no Widow Mines. 2 Widow Mines come in, but they're a little late to the party. The Banelings manually detonated there by SoO on those Widow Mines to take him out. There's way too much Ling Bane, with a great spread. The Mutas come forward. Ooh, that Thor barely gets out of there. A 2 hit point medevac. And the Thor in just 66 hit points. He manages to survive, stabilize. And that was a very scary, dangerous moment. But he hangs on. He holds on. He's looking okay. The Planetary's really weak, though. Oh, a ballsy rotation there from SoO. Just says, nah, man, let's just go for it. Realizes he can't get the Planetary. We'll just pick off an SCV or 2 before pulling back. Thors, please stop shooting the Overseer, you friggin' dummies. What are the upgrades, by the way? Just +1 vehicle plating, so no more Thor upgrades. They're not going to be great versus Ultras if they don't have higher attack upgrades. +3 Carapace is now starting. Hive Tech's done. No Adrenal. Nothing like that. No Ultra Cavern yet. Oh, no. Where are the Widow Mines? Oh, the Marines are all caught out front. This is a really bad engage for Inno. These units at the back actually doing nicely, but I mean, where's the splash? Where's the punish for this clump up on a ramp? There's just, Inno just didn't quite have all his pieces together, and it looks like SoO's just going to roll him over right now. Yeah, Banelings take out the Widow Mines. Planetary goes down. 6 base Zerg versus 3 base Terran. Just slapped down in this game, and it feels like SoO here. I mean, I like the way this is played out. I look at this and I say, on paper, there are weaknesses to the way you opened. It looked like it went perfectly, and it looked like Inno, he had a good momentum with that first push, but just wasn't quite able to make it happen. Now SoO is in 100% control. Adrenal's on the way. We've got Ultra Cavern on the way. I'd love to see +3 melee as well. And the creep is respreading, right? Every time he wins a fight, regains control, SoO's respreading creep. I'd love a little bit more spread in the middle, but just a massive Ling Bane. And yeah. Oh, whoa! Holy shit! The Mutas not being watched there. They do fly on in. That brings up to 27 Mutas going down. I think he's up 2 upgrades right now. Carapace is still 50 seconds away. Inno thinks he can push. I'll tell you what, guys. There's no Marines in here. There's no firepower. It's all about Marauders and Thors being tanky and these Widow Mines getting good shots, and that can work, but it's fragile as all hell. There's not a lot of firepower to work with. Even just the raw Zergling count should be able to beat this army unless these Widow Mines get massive hits. Oh, most of these Widow Mines not really firing. A few of them, yeah, the Zerglings are being spread through the army. And this is what happens if you don't have enough Marine firepower backing it up. Those Lings are able to spread through. That being said, is he actually going to hold this position? That's insane. Double upgrade advantage is huge in StarCraft, guys. Not a lot of Marines, but great spread from Inno. The Marauders struggling to die with that much medevac healing, and with the Zerglings there. And suddenly it looks like Inno's like, yeah, I still have a chance. I got a 5th down here. It's his main base that floated down, so it's not really a 5th. But, I mean, he's floated it down. Ino is one of the most methodical players at keeping that economy rolling. He's going to keep moving forward. He's rallied across the map. You can see all of his stuff is rallied into the fight. He knows he's rather desperate, and I think it is time for SoO to backstab. I think SoO's way too focused on the front. I would love to see a pack of Lings cut off the reinforce. He's kind of letting innovation dictate where the fight's going to happen. I mean, he's got +3 carapace. He's got adrenal. Ultras are popping. I think he'll be fine. But I think it's unnecessary to give innovation this much space. Innovation has so little flexibility right now. It's like watching an 85-year-old man try to do the splits. It's like, it's kind of working because he's like doing some weird shit to bend his body into place. But like if you just force him to move dynamically at all, you're going to see his legs break. Like it's not something your body's meant to do at that age. Weird analogy, but look at that spread. Don't engage into that front on. Or maybe, hey, Baneling's a good unit. The Ultra's pulling back. That's what we wanted to see. He says, wait a second. Your whole army's on the front. You're rallying to the front as well? I will send 60 Zerglings in the back. And it looks like SoO, obviously, I mean, Ino is setting up some great fights, but there's too much damage on the back. And SoO's still got 5 bases after losing his hatch. Losing a hatch, not the end of the world. All those Widow Mines not really getting big hits, mostly on individual Zerglings and, of course, Overseers. And, you know, I mean, he's microing his heart out. The transfuses from the Queens are great, but SoO a little bit too much momentum. Let's take a look back. So, I feel like with Ino not starting his 2-2 and not going for a quick 4th, it all comes down to this push, right? Which looked like it was good. Do you guys think he should have pulled further off creep? I mean, it's such a lovely little nook with the tanks, but it does make them easy to attack with the mutas. Do you think you should go like tank there, and be a bit more conservative? I like the tank in the face. I think this is good. But let's look at how SoO set this up, as well as what could Ino maybe have done better. I do think having 1 or 2 Hellbats up front is good, and the other Hellbats should be behind the tanks, preferably, and around. Now, obviously, with mutas out, you need a lot of Marines guarding the tanks, but let's take a look at this. He kind of spreads out. Well, SoO is going to engage Queens first, and those are going to take a tank volley. So look, bam, bam. He now retargets. You see Ino select his tanks, and you can see he has specifically targeted this Baneling. So he's tried, and he's made, I don't think he's shift-clicked. I think he's just right-clicked it. That should be enough, though, because after that, it'll refocus on whatever's closest, which should be these Zerglings and Banelings. But these Hellbats clumped up. Like, he spread those Hellbats, but then they clumped up. And he was basically, by SoO moving the Queens in, Ino's priorities got a bit muddled. Well, not muddled, but he just couldn't do everything at once. He was like, shit, select the tanks, click the Banelings. And I think these Banelings just got 2 clumped up hits on these Hellbats, whereas Hellbats, such a tanky unit and such a good splash damage unit against the Zerglings. But it felt like they died a bit too suddenly. 1 tank's gone from the mutas. The other tank's gone from the mutas. So arguably, if mutas are out, that's not a great tank position. And then suddenly it's like, oh, shit. And then obviously these Marines are caught. They've got to kind of just run. I'm torn. I'm like literally wrinkling my face up right now, thinking hard. I'm like, do you want the tanks? I think I would want the tanks to be over here. I think. Yeah, I feel like having the tanks on the edge makes it too easy for those mutas to take him out. There's a great engage from SoO. But then I was also saying how at this position, after that first bit and the tanks going down, Ino kind of needed to say, look, if I'm starting 2-2, I'm starting a second factory, I'm going to close my window. Saturday morning yard work going on outside. They love doing that. If you're going to be transitioning, which he is, I mean, he doesn't have a 4th CC yet. He's still focusing on unit production. He did need to make sure his army didn't go down, because at the moment, SoO's like red hit point hatch. He's got some drones up on the 4th, but he's really locked in here. He's making Banes and mutas, and every second that he's threatened, guess what? He's not finding the gas to start 2-2. It's only once he clears this up that SoO really asserts dominance over the map and just gets in control, and Ino doesn't really have another push timing, right? So I think that tank unsieging here is quite bad. I think Ino probably should have had another Marine spotter up here after this first fight. So those tanks going down, talked about that. Yeah, I think maybe a Marine spotter a bit further out or something would have been nice, but like, it's literally, he's like, cool, let's unsiege me tank and move forward just as, and SoO's kind of checking with his mutas the whole time. He's like, and he's ready, and it's like perfect timing for SoO that he unsieges, and Inno just gets caught a little bit, you know? So the muta's focus firing the tank again. He's really good at that. It's just not quite enough firepower here. Tank's not able to land on the Banelings at all. Bunch of medevacs go down, and from there I felt like it was really rough. So GG, well played, man. Great game one there from SoO. 4 queen 2 base muta opening. Does end up hanging on to the 4th, just about 200 hit points left on that 4th base. Remember, guys, that was very, very close, but he gets it in the end. Let's go. People are talking about Alpha Star. So yeah, Alpha Star never really figured out the higher levels of StarCraft strategy. It figured out how to move units around, and it figured out a lot of fundamentals. But yeah. So Attico said, not to say StarCraft lacks strategy, a lot of the game is based on the physical skill of the player. Micro, eye-hand coordination. So the thing is, you can't really say Go has more strategy, right? It actually doesn't. That's wrong. What it does have is more accessible strategy, right? So I'm not really disagreeing with what you're saying there in chat, Attico, but I am at the same time. It's an important distinction. So most players will be able to access more strategy quicker, right? And engage with that on a higher level in a game like Go that doesn't have the speed and the mechanical input and stuff, right? For sure. But at the same time, you've got to keep in mind that StarCraft being real time, and it's the same with football, soccer, football, hockey, any sport, MMA, fighting. I would say there is infinitely higher levels of strategy there, but because they're all gated behind the physical aspect, the mechanical aspect, they're way less accessible. So it's like, it's this weird thing, right? Where it's like people think they get StarCraft strategy or they get football strategy because they can watch from the sidelines, and it's like, but there are so many layers within the milliseconds. There are so many layers of like within each moment where things can go different ways. So don't get me wrong. If you're looking for a pure strategy game to play, yes, you will access a lot more strategy and just pure strategy in of itself. Playing Go or playing chess or something like that. But if you're playing StarCraft, as you level up and you get, there's like everything is tied to timing, right? So I guess one way to think of it, and the reason why I always from the start, everyone was like, yeah, Alpha Star will inevitably conquer StarCraft. Go is so complicated. It was a matter, it's, Go is such a deep strategic game. If it conquered that, it could conquer StarCraft. And I was always like, no, I don't think it will. Until way further down the track. I don't think self-learning AI is at that level yet. And I don't know a lot about it, so this is like super layman. But basically the reason for that is that there are infinite moves. So what I mean by like not infinite, but exponentially more. Like to the power of such a high number. I'm bad with maths, right? Because if you think about it, it's your go, it's your go. It's your go, it's your go. Chessboard, for instance, I don't really know exactly how Go works. I know it's just kind of more complicated chess. If it's turn-based and there are very set moves, I mean, you add a 3-dimensional engine with infinite little pixel-perfect ways a Reaper can wiggle here, for instance. Every one of those is a different move. Exactly how you move this Reaper. Not just within the square. It's not moved from this square to this square. It's the angle it's moving on. It's the speed that it turns and shoots at, right? There are so many of these tiny details. 1 hit point gets out of there, nice. Marine gonna damage this Overlord as well, by the way. SoO's always very careful, never loses an Overlord, but does take a bit of damage on that one. So I feel like there's infinite moves, within whatever unit can do. And when you take into account how many units there are, it's like there are so many more pieces on the board. The board is this like exponentially more complicated thing Even if we play on the same map every game, which we don't, right? It's just, there's so many ways each unit can move. Like, you could look at a worker rush versus a worker rush on one map, and that could be the only thing Alpha Star's trying to solve, and there would still be so many more permutations than you would find in a game of Go. Simply because, well, you could grab your workers and go run them to the corner of the map. And then you could move them not to this corner, but to that, and there, and there. My point is just that there's so many options that, like, the numbers go up so much. And computing power can do a lot with that, and it can figure a lot out. But it never engaged with the deep strategic level with Alpha Star. That humans do, right? And that's why a lot of people are sad about it. And it's I love Alpha Star. I think it's a great project. But I think realistically, it was not able to get anywhere near that level. And that's just due to the fact that we don't have machine learning at a level where it can actually understand. It just doesn't have broad intelligence, right? It can develop a little bit of figuring out how to navigate its way through systems. And people are like, well, it beat Cyril. And it's like, no, it didn't. It beat Cyril, who was like sitting at a booth at BlizzCon playing without headphones in on someone else's mouse and keyboard, fucking around after being eliminated, you know, from the tournament. It's like, it's this thing where, don't get me wrong, I think eventually computers will figure out all this shit and they will become infinitely more complicated to the point where we can barely fathom how they work. Fathom? It's more fathom, right? It's not fathom. Fathom? It's fathom, right? Words that I read and write but very rarely speak out loud. Episode 46 of Pig learning how to speak his own language here on the stream. Hope you guys are learning. Not that many Zerglings here, but good queen positioning. Is SoO gonna build more Zerglings? I think he needs to. This is a scary run by dude. Drones are exposed. Drones are exposed. Good pullback by SoO. Those Lings are very stacked up. If he gets a volley on those, that'll be bad. The Zerglings came in and actually picked off the SCV, guys. Innovation's a bit distracted. He needs to put an SCV back on that. He's doing great damage in the main, don't get me wrong. The Hellions are sharking around. SCV finally gets back on that third CC. SoO there with a lovely, lovely move. That just the ability to send 2 Lings in while dealing with all this and picking off that command center SCV does delay Innovation's third by a long time. This Lib still being microed very well. Another Lib coming in, and that's going to be big, but this Queen does manage to take 1 shot, 2 shot, takes out the Lib. This Lib, though, might be where the money's at. Hellions come in, get another 3 drones. SoO is still so light on the Zergling count. He's trying to be so greedy here, and I feel like this is where the damage is starting to stack up. You know, a little slow to unsiege on that Lib. Good Spore movement, that Queen not being microed quite well, but of course, SoO so busy trying to zone out these Hellions, and these Hellions just want to bait the Zerglings to run at them. If they headbutt at any point, that is where they will be able to roast them all. But, ooh, the Zerglings get the surround. It was Innovation caught slipping. And yet, despite that, somehow, I mean, I guess it just wasn't enough Zerglings. All the Hellions surviving on Reddit points. Oh, no! Oh, no! Uh-oh. Makes me feel so good when I see really, really top-tier champions like SoO just take a lot of damage to this. Because I take so much damage to this Liberator Hellion Harass when it's microed well. And I'll tell you, if you guys play against Innovation when he's doing this, it's another level, man. It is actually, I always tell stories of playing Innovation and, you know, I'd play against every other Terran in the world and you'd play Innovation on the ladder in Heart of the Swarm and his Hellion Harass was just better. he would not let your Queens land a hit. He'd be bouncing with every Reaper Grenade. He'd be in and out, picking off tumors. You add Libs to that arsenal and I feel like Innovation over the past couple of years has just been, every time I see him open up Hellion Lib, I'm like, I got a smile on my face because I'm like, yeah, he is so good at microing this. It's such a flexible opening and he seems to find the damage. That being said, all credit to SoO. He's up on 68 drones. He's got a 4th on the way. He's trying to get creep out there. He's not quite there yet. And the Spire, it's finishing. It's not ready yet. These tanks are going to siege up in an awesome position. Bane speed's already done. But 1 tank on the low ground. Oh, he's going to siege them both on the low ground. I like to siege a tank on the low ground because I think that's such a shitty position to attack with Zerglings. And then you can get 1 tank in range of the hatchery. It's still a really good position. That hatch is damaged. Just click on the hatch. I really think if he just focuses on the hatch, that's an easy pick off. And SoO's back on 3 base. No macro hatch. And Zerg production's hurting. Whoa, Inno! Good hot pickup. Just redrops though. Mutas are going to fly across the map. There's no turret in the main. Inno may be caught being a little bit greedy here. He's trying to push forward, trying to put the pressure on and kind of like force SoO home. But this is such a wide open area. SoO's like, shrugs shoulders, takes fourth on the other side, and he's totally happy. That lib there. Now, you might ask, why is that sieged on nothing? It's so that if he does select all army and grabs his units to react to something like this, then he won't accidentally move that liberator. So that's a big mistake players often have. Mutas do find a bit of damage. I like that there's an accidental Reaper building. Wasted 50 gas there, but not the end of the world. Still a Marine down there. Push coming forward. That's a lot of speed banes, guys. There's a lot of Marines. SoO gets the jump. Oh, there's a lot of bio. The Mutas come in as well, though. Oh, that Baneling. It hit almost every Marine, but one Baneling does not finish them off. It just gets them deep in the red. And a good fight for Inno. Loses a few tanks, kills a lot of Banelings, though. The Muta's going to rotate over to that left-hand side. More tanks building. There are some great tank spots on this map. Sending some Marines home. His third does have a turret. He's got to protect those depots, I guess. Wants to make sure those Mutas don't have free reign. He's coming in. If he can snipe the fourth again, Inno is just gonna absolutely chomp SoO in this game. Just gonna chuck him into his mouth, chew a couple of times, and spit out a dead Zerg skeleton. There's only Zerglings here. There's no Banelings. Two Banelings, two Banelings, two Banelings. Inno, I mean, he's stutter stepping with his focus fire. Ooh, he doesn't manage to hit the second Baneling. Tries to pick up, a little slow to do that. But look at that, the reinforcers here. The Marines on the bottom gun down all of those Banes. These Marines drop on top of the Zergling Muta Bane. Says, I've got too much. Get out of my game. GG, well played. Innovation there. I mean, that was pretty damn sexy. I do love to do a quick rewind. And hats off to Inno. Didn't overcommit. His Hellions were just sharking. They were shark. It was Hellions. Look, Lib goes in the back. Hellions shark the front. Hellions rotate. They're blocked. That's fine. Lib's here. Now, I think a big mistake here is this. Why is there no queen in the main? SoO here, he often tries to defend with a minimal queen count and cut corners. And he's got nothing to defend the main. And this is why, I mean, I, as a general rule, once it gets past about 4:30, I will never leave my main without a queen in it. Because if you've got a queen, you can just be like, oh, grab her, tell her to move there. But this queen's coming to the front. And I think this allows this Lib to create an opening and create more damage. And his saturation was great. He does only have 18 Zerglings. I do love the 2 Lings that he clicked in there on the command center. But it just takes too long for this queen to get back up there. And then this Liberator just keeps microing around. The whole time, look at how active the Hellions are. And I just want to point out, notice he cues them. Shift, move, macro, macro, micro lib, go back, micro Hellions. You'll notice, yeah, there we go. He grabbed the Hellions, and now he's microing them actively. And then whenever he disengages the Hellions, he shift cues them, move back, move to a new angle, micro lib, do macro. There is this beautiful rhythm to it. Execution is amazing. I also think here, this queen wasn't microed as well as it could have. I think if you... And the top Zergs are getting very good at defending with a Spore, but I feel like it's so easy to make a mistake. If you are actually in this situation where you're not leaving a queen there to just hit that lib nonstop, it extends how long that pressure goes for, and it becomes very hard to deal with. Series is tied up 1-1. Let's go. Big thanks, Grim Godly, for the 8-month resub. Much love. Welcome to the Pigsty. They put restrictions on the AI because it was OP, like APM limits, for instance, because it had perfect micro. It gets to show that the AI was better than man. I mean, yeah. Turns out a robot arm beats a man in a wrestling match as well. That's the people who are always like, but it's like that. And as usual, when I talk about that, people are like, well, you misunderstand how self-learning algorithms learn games. You don't understand, Pig. I mean, I kind of saw it in action, though, right? Alpha Star did literally not learn how to play StarCraft that well. Like, it got good. It got GM mechanically. It learned really standard ways of playing, but it could not react. It did not learn how to scout and react to its opponent. Not in a big way. And that's what, you know... There's always people like, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. I know StarCraft, and I think it did an amazing thing with how it learned how to play, but it never managed to play StarCraft with any sort of reactive intention beyond, oh, the opponent's running across the map with army, I'll build some cannons. Like, that was like the level of how it would react to situations. It was, you know, like it would play Terran, it would just make Marine tank and just keep trying to drop. And if the opponent was like, oh, what? You're just gonna like sit there and defend with Marine tank and didn't kill themselves on the defense? It just didn't have any way of playing around it, you know? It had games where it would just mass roach every Zerg versus Zerg. And then like the other player plays mutas and it's like, oh, and it just doesn't know what to do. Like even at its peak level, it didn't ever figure out the value of scouting the opponent's tech and base and setup. It would only react to things as it saw them come across the map, and it would always do it off a very general situation. So don't get me wrong, it was a great project. I think we all just wish it went further and we could have really learnt some stuff from it and seen it really play proper StarCraft. And yeah, we didn't really get into doing that, unfortunately. They did call it quits. They gave up. StarCraft beat Alpha Star. Hi-oh! They were never going to be able to beat the best players in the world the way they couldn't go. And yeah, it's because there's you know, hidden information. There's so many different possible moves. There's so many different possible pieces. And yeah, it constantly wanted to just find something that would, you know, that would win most of the time. It wanted to find the most solid way of winning, and that's maybe not the best way of playing StarCraft. I don't know. You need to scout and react. You need to be able to understand what your opponent's trying to do in the game, and it felt like it never did that. Which I was always sad about, because I was like, how cool would it be if you see it actually actively worker scouting or something and then reacting to its opponent's opening? And it just never seemed to engage on that level of reactive strategy, and that was sad for me. It is pretty much over as far as we know. I don't believe it's working on StarCraft 2 anymore. I think they're working on to more real life application with their machine learning projects now. So guys, into map 3, big thanks Nukeshu for the 5-month resub, Petite Volchien with the 2-month resub as well. Thank you for the support, guys. If you're enjoying the stream, please do click the follow button. Don't forget to click the bell as well. That gives you notifications, whether you're on YouTube or on Twitch. You can always make sure those notifications are on, so you get alerted when I get a new video out. We're going to try and get some more flow files going out soon, and the rest of it. It is going to be just Hellion Banshee here, stock standard, and once again appears to be that 4-queen 2-base muta build here for SoO. You know, your third base isn't too delayed with this, so I'm actually quite, you know, as much as I was criticizing it earlier, you get a decently timed third. It's about a minute later than a normal third base. But you've got good creep. You've got a decently timed third. It's a balanced build, you know. Some people try to play like quick third into really fast mutas. I think this is a better version of that, right? I think rather than going for the really quick third and then trying to do it, it's just more contained, more controlled, better creep spread. These 2 queens are an awesome defensive tool. And yeah, that layer's going to finish up. Spire goes down straight into 4 gases. And Inno, of course, has seen the Banshee. First one coming out now. Hellion's not really able to find any opening just yet. Third CC will be going down in the wall-off. This late third's kind of annoying as a Terran. You're like, can you please put some drones on your third so I can just dart in on the edge, kill some drones, and run away? You're like, I kind of want you to have more economy so it's easier to do damage for you. Carl Fishy, oh my god. That's so funny. Oh, Carl Fishy just slayed me. It's like, yeah, I really think Alpha Star was actually, you know, it was out there, it was trying to get better, but after the 20th person on Reddit went and told it to watch Vibes Bronze to GM, it gave up. That is actually like the last year of StarCraft. If you ask for advice on Reddit, they're like, watch Vibes Bronze to GM. It goes in waves, you know, depending on what content gets suggested constantly by people in a community. I have heard those are great resources. I haven't watched a lot myself, but very accessible. Just watching someone kind of have a very narrow focus in what they're doing. Speaking of narrow focus, that's only 3 queens, guys. Transfuse! The Banshees are coming in as well, guys. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this is looking real rough for SoO, dude. Okay, the extra queens are down now, but this is a good surprise maneuver. I love the early cloak on the Banshees. Just takes out a few queens, pack of lings, couple Banes. behind it. 1-1's on the way. The second and third barracks are up. Stim is finished. Shields will be starting up momentarily. Mutas are now out. They'll chase the Hellions off. Banshee's going to hide down there. And some of those Hellions will get home. Turrets are most of the way out. The production is open, though. It's actually not that many Marines. I feel like the Mutas are going to catch a bit more of a window this game. And 60 drones are already out. That turret SCV goes down. Another one, a second SCV. Banshees fly in, though. They're going to go straight for the natural. But good rotation by SoO. I think they actually should have stopped and just picked off drones there. Going to try to just pull the Mutas home. This is that moment where the Protoss in me says, just recall, dude. Just recall. Going to go 1 drone, 2 drones, 3. Oh, Spore Crawler trick. Could have been a 4th, but instead just 3 drones. Good Spore trick there from SoO. Yeah. I'm still triggered but about the people in chat saying I don't know how machine learning works. They're like, that's not how it learns, pig. And I'm like, did I at any point say how it learns? Did I? I'm like trying to review what I said. I'm like, I talked about why StarCraft's more complicated. Right? Fucking Twitch chat. Ming Lord, thanks for the 2-month resub, mate. This is a scary push, but we've seen SoO handle it pretty well. Losing those 2 Mutas to the Widow Mines kind of sucks. I like the Widow Mines rather than the tanks. Are they going to be burrowed in time, though? Oh, man, those 2... yeah, spread these mines out. Oh, that's a cancel on the 4th. That's a great start. It feels like Innovation's found his comfort zone against this build. His 2-2 is well underway. 1-1's only halfway done for SoO. Oh, dude. I mean, SoO's trying to do what he can. He's got Bane speed, but I think Inno's like, look, you're just relying on your Banelings hitting me. As long as I don't let those Banelings hit me, you're in huge trouble. And he realizes, okay, I sniped that 4th. I know you're going to take this one. So he's just rotating his army down. Look at these changelings. They're like, oh, we're part of the crew, man. Yeah, my name's Mr. Stubble Bubble the Marine. Blah, blah, blah. You know, like, no, you aren't. Whoa. Oh. Those Banes weren't terrible. A few Marines, or 1 Marine in the medevac down there. The reinforce is finally coming. Is there a second factory behind this? There is not. Second factory just started, guys. Just started. Whoa, he's going to go for it. SoO here. All his Bane's quite clumped, though. Oh, man. There's still a Widow Mine. 2 more in the back. There's too many Marines. 2-2's getting closer and closer to done. And SoO, I mean, it's all about these speed Banes connecting. The Mutas do take out 2 Widow Mines before they fire. Oh, my God. A lovely ambush here from SoO. Those Marines on the south just have to sprint away. So do they all. SoO, I don't know how he finds these moments. These tiny fractions of a second where the Widow Mines aren't burrowed, where the Terran's not quite spread out. And oh my God, he routs Innovation's army. Innovation was literally waffle stomping this game. He was pushing the feces of SoO's economy through the shower grate. He ran out of TP. It was middle of quarantine. Oh, that Widow Mine took out all the Banes there. Okay, a bit slow to repair the turret, but that means with those Banes gone, the Marines do hold strong. 2-2's about to kick in. As bad as those fights were, if Inno can stabilize, he does not have a 4th CC. Oh, and there's a 5th hatch on the north as well for SoO going down now. More Widow Mines going down. Oh, this is rough, man. I feel like Inno, I think he's got to pull back after he takes some of these good trades. SoO is so good at, if you stay on his side of the map, and he'll catch you repositioning. Those speed Banes always looking for an ambush, and you know what? I think SoO's going to run in. Inno, oh no, 0 map vision. He should have sent some Marine spotters out. He should know that he's at a weak spot right now. He's so eager to use this 2-2 advantage. These Mutas are going to come in, and SoO's going to go, wait, what the fudge? You don't have any units here. Everything is going to dart in. Inno's Gonskis. He's going to try to repair that to get the Thor out. He's going to dive in on the 4th at the same time. I mean, the turret here going to try to do some stuff. SCVs are all going to go down. The Thor, will it pop? The Thor pops out, but unfortunately it's going to get surrounded immediately by Zerglings. Refugee Hunters, the anime down here, where a whole bunch of flying winged worm creatures shoot tiny little spiky worms out of their big worm butt. They kill all the SCVs who just wanted to find a better life for themselves, and this army's trapped. It's trapped. It's trapped. Inno, no! Oh, shit. Oh, no. He's like, pick up low ground, high ground, low ground, high ground. But the Baneling flank. Oh, my lord. Devastating. How does SoO win these games, man? What the hell? He's so... He's like, I have no creep spread, and I'm on 3 hatchery against a 3 base Terran who's up in upgrades. And then, you know, it's like, cool, I'll just move some mines and some marines, and there's like Banelings take out 10 marines, the mutas snipe out 3 widow mines before they fire, and you're like, oh, does your army just get destroyed now? Okay. Now Inno's dead. I mean, he's like, oh, look at a 4th base. If he wins this game, it'll be incredible. He's got +3 attack on the way, can't afford armor. He's going to try and weather the storm. But SoO, I mean, this is a big Zerg storm coming in right now. And, oh, my, ooh, good widow mine hit. Still a few Banes left over, though. The mutas are bruised, man. Oh, I think there's just a few too many Banes. He's trying to get back. There's still 1 Bane up there. The SCV's going, oh, and just, there's even more. There's even more Banes where that came from. It's equal upgrades right now. 2-2 versus 2-2. Great timing to just finish. Seal the deal. And I gotta watch that engage again. What the hell, dude? Inno's like, I'm winning this game. You are. Like, literally, you could see SoO just getting pushed through the ground. This was just an F-up. I think there's a point here where you're like, I can move my army down. Like, you kind of imagine the Zerg sitting back here. Like, I feel like every time this happens, Inno's in a good position, and he starts just moving too much of his shit. Like, I think he's got to be a little more focused on not giving the fight to SoO. And obviously, I mean, normally the whole focus here is you're pushing, you're forcing the good fights, you're attacking. But this was just, look, a lot of your widow mines are on cooldown. You're going to have a mad upgrade advantage soon. You don't need to force the issue here. You need to make sure he can't run down the tiniest choke of all time and rout your army. And somehow he's able to do that. And I guess part of it is the army isn't really positioned around this ramp yet. They were still moving from that ramp. You need Marines, mines spread in an arc to really punish this ramp, right? But without the widow mines, if there were widow mines were already burrowed and the Marines were stimmed and just gunning them down immediately, it'd be a different story, right? But where's the widow mines? The creep spread, that creep tumor, very important. And the whole game turns around. He's got mutas so he can chase you down. Oh, a disaster. A disaster. 2-1 advantage for SoO. Alpha Star was a Korean pro in 2007. I don't even get it. Oh, right. Someone was actually asking. Alpha Star was... Why would a moderator lie? She just trolled them, that's all. Alpha Star was the... was the name of the AI built by Google's DeepMind project to try and conquer StarCraft. Got to a very good skill level, but it was rather simplistic in how it played. I'm very confused, Cheeto. Scarlett's mum subscribed to my channel? Or do you actually just have a daughter called Scarlett? Teach her to be good at StarCraft. Then we can have Scarlett versus Scarlett 2035 StarCraft 3. Do it, Cheeto. Pig says hey. Do what I say, not what I do. She's 6? Oh, look at this. Cheeto pressuring me to try to keep the language under control in this match. I'll try. Up here in the top left-hand side, going into game 4. I feel like Inno's looked pretty good in this series, but that 2-base Muta build definitely giving him trouble. It's innovation. Down here, triumphing so far, the master of the speed Bane ambushes. In the red, representing the Africa Freaks, it is SoO. Oh no. I hope you guys are having a good time. Yeah. I guess while we're just chilling here in the early game, not that much is happening. Final point on the Alpha Star thing. So yeah, because I've had this many times. People are like, you just don't understand Alpha Star. And I'm like, I've always said openly, I don't really understand how machine learning works. I don't have a technical understanding of it. I understand some very vague basics, but there is something that I have, which is fundamental human common sense. And the whole argument I've made is StarCraft 2 is infinitely more complicated than any turn-based game. And because of that, as well as the fact that you've got a much more complicated environment, this is a best of 7, guys. Oh my god. Is Reaper going to kill every Zergling? So, I'll finish that point. Because you've got a much more complicated game, more complicated environment, more complicated pieces with higher exponential number of moves, as well as hidden information, it is too hard. And I said from the start that I didn't think Alpha Star would be able to beat the best StarCraft players because there's too many variables and there's too many, you know, things to think about, and you need a kind of broad intelligence to conquer StarCraft and to really play well. You need to be so infinitely flexible, right? You know, so much of playing StarCraft as a human is about coming up with rules and trying to program responses into yourself, but then at the same time never holding those rules sacred and always being ready to throw them in the trash and learn new rules. It's the game that forces you to be so infinitely flexible with how you play and how you adjust. And to me, I just looked at that and said, you know what, this is a game where it's so hard to achieve perfection. I don't think it would be able to overwhelm the best players. And it never really got to the point where it did do that, where it was able to engage in those on a high level, a high strategic level. Mechanically, micro-wise, figured out good generic compositions and good generic ways to get a decent win rate on the ladder, but it definitely never found a way to scout and react and counter its opponent's strategies on a high level. And I think I'll leave it at that. I don't think I ever said, machine learning doesn't learn in the right way or anything like that. If anyone wants to actually take this conversation further, please do tweet it at me, because I'm always interested to learn. But what really always gets me and sends me off on these tangents is when people are like, well, you don't understand, you're wrong. And I'm like, that's it. I'm okay with people saying I'm wrong, but tell me why I'm wrong. Don't just fucking tell me I'm wrong. You know, be like, well, you just don't understand. I'm like, I'm like, can we have a discussion? But unfortunately, usually people are just like, well, nah. We're just gonna kind of make these. It's like those people that talk to you online and they end everything with an ellipses, a ... and you're like, ooh, Sounds like it's easy to get under your skin, says Daniel Flash. Banned! Just joking. Hellion Drop doesn't really do a lot of damage here. That was actually shut down really hard. I gotta be critical, that Overlord was not positioned well. It should have been over there. So he didn't get a warning to the last second, but SoO reacted like an absolute beast. And did end up shutting that down. So is it a good opening for this map? I mean, it's not a bad one to mix it up, right? Medevac's still alive, so we can do it again. But I mean, obviously you don't want to build a Viking, because even though it seems good to get rid of those Overlords, there's been quick muters almost every game. Good save with the Medevac. I like that maneuver. Yeah. Alright. I don't know, man. This map is so weird. I'm thinking about how the last maps went. So, Innovation has been getting really good first pushes, and then he's been getting ambushed and rolled, and suddenly he loses momentum, and because he's pushing so hard on 3 base, he's running out of steam. Here on Purity and Industry, how the hell are you going to push your opponent? You can't. It's a gigantic, ultra-defensive map. I want to see Innovation with a faster second factory, a faster 4th command center, which I actually want to see go down before the second factory. I want to see 2-2 start immediately. I want to see Innovation play a later game. I want to see him play for the 3-3 stage. Maybe at that stage be pushing hard once the Zerg takes a 4th out at one of these bases where they're a bit more exposed. But I don't think you can really force your way too deep. It's hard to get across this map. He's going to have to really lock himself down against the muters and hopefully manage to hang on. Alright. Black Label says, I swear, I saw he got 3-0'd today. Brackets don't reflect that. Who are you talking about? You must be talking about Stay at Home Story Cup. This is a TSL5 replay cast. Finals of this was cast last week, guys. Remember, it is like group stages and stuff as well. I think Cyril was very close to losing. I tuned in earlier today. He almost lost to Drogo. It's a real close series there. Cyril was memeing after almost losing a couple of series. He was tweeting, well, guys, you know, more games for the fans. I just wanted to make it close to add some excitement. I was like, oh, you cheeky shithead. Guys, is Inno going too deep? Bane speed is finished. Yeah, you can't dive on creep here. I like threatening. I like sharking around. But remember what I was talking about. I want to see a quicker 2-2. I want to see innovation shift gears. I don't want him to just headbutt into this. Right now, all you're doing is like pretending. Right? You're going, oh, look at me. Yeah. I want him to get the fuck out of there, to be honest. He's going to try to reinforce. It's the exact same play he's done in the previous games. I mean, he's got a more conservative siege location, but the tanks are on siege, and I mean, that's usually where SoO jumps on him. Doesn't find the opening this time. All right. Oh, he's got a Hellbat with the tanks. I love having one Hellbat back with the tanks. Often, it gets to a point where like 20 lings or 10, 12, 15 lings separate to try and get the tanks, but God, SoO, he wants to ambush. He really wants to ambush this. The mutas are going to go backstab. SoO's like, oh, he's not committing, dude. So he builds 11 drones, says his mutas across the map. We've got 1-1 almost finished. 2-2 will be starting after that. SoO's delaying the fight until 1-1 is finished. He's got a lot of creep. He is losing creep control, but oh no, Inno doesn't repair in time. Slow response from Inno. He does luckily have 9 Marines at his rally point. Those should be able to push them back, but can he actually micro on the front at the same time? It looks like yes. This 4th base is under siege. The mutas get pushed back from the main. SoO gonna jump forward. Those Marines a little bit slow to run back. Focus, he focus fires. The Banes are gone, the Marines are alive. And just like that, I think SoO has not found enough damage with the harassment. I think he's going to dive on this turret now, but he's getting caught in the slow field. The mutas are getting separated. The 4th base goes down. The mutas do come in. They don't go for the turret. They just go for the edge. They pick off a refinery. Once again, SoO is back on 3 base, but this time he's lost a lot more Zergling Baneling. And once again, guess what? No 2-2. Inno realizes this is the point where he keeps getting jumped in the past. Pull back. Bring the units from home, group up, and at 2-2, force another fight. Keep pushing this same angle, but wait for 2-2. Don't go on creep until that is ready. Don't let these Banelings jump you. SoO, I mean, he's desperate, dude. He doesn't even have a 4th hatchery for producing. He's hitting his injects perfectly, so he's still okay on the production, but not great, and a lot more Marines are rallying. Ooh, 2 mutas run into the meat grinder of Marines, and things are looking a little bit rough. All right, all right. And tanks and Marines going to be moving to the south side. Mutas moving to the left as well. And these mutas going to try and rotate around here. And they are going to snipe down the siege tank. SoO's looking desperate, man. Siege of tanks, don't get caught. There's a big flank getting ready. Uh-oh! The tanks are siege, though. The muta's going to run on top. Now, those mutas are actually tanking, allowing the Banelings to get on top. Oh, those mutas were so well engineered there. You notice they came in on top of the Marines. Now, you would love to just A-move your Marines and have them gun down the Banelings there. But what happened is the mutas were there on top of the Marines saying, hey, we're the threat, we're the threat. And if you don't target fire your Marines, you're just going to shoot the Mutalisks. Like bloody morons, as if the mutas do any damage. You know, if there was an upgrade to make it so your Marines automatically target fired Banelings over anything else, you would never lose a game as Terran. Against Muta-Ling Bane, you'd be like, lol, this is the worst composition ever. I just make pure Marine stim A-move, right? But that's what this whole dance is about, is you get the mutas on top of the Marines. The Marines are like, ooh, shoot those. And then because of that, it's like, well, shit. They need to be perfectly spread against the Banelings or they're going to take big hits. And a big hit, SoO here, the one Zerg who somehow manages to hang out on 3 base, the latest 4th of all time, finally established, trying to take a 5th. And yet he still wins engagements and gets himself back in games. Bly is another Zerg who seems to have this magical quality to play 3 base, 3 hatchery Muta-Ling Bane against a 3 to 4 base Terran and still win fights. There's something about these players. They're very wily. They've got that grit. They've got that determination. They're always looking for that moment where the Terran isn't quite set up. And once again, catching half the army. There's a few units on the bottom, but oh, it does manage to get back to safety. These Marines and Widowmine's going to pull back the attention of SoO. A worthy sacrifice down in this corner of the map, I think, to try to pull SoO away. There is a 4th base up for Inno. Of course, these drops will go down. Just going to see if he can kill a muta or 2. 1 muta will go down. Good pullback on the weakened muta there. Nice micro by SoO. Fourth base is up. It's getting saturated. We've got 3 more barracks on the way. And tons of medevacs. Thors, Marines, Tank, Marauder, Mines all coming forwards across this map. Lings and Banes coming forward. Lings and Banes coming forward. The Mutas coming forward as well. And they are going to try to crash through everything. The Thors, the Marines coming forward. And the Mutas jumping on top. The Mines, the Marines trying to siege forward. I mean, he keeps the medevacs alive, the Thor. A few Widow Mines, that's important. These trades, more fights like that will favor innovation, right? He's got to keep expanding, though. I really want to see a 5th command center on the way. Obviously, he's just trying to keep taking the fight to SoO right now. These 2 Widow Mines are a little bit exposed. Those 2 as well. They will go down now. Where are the Overseers at, man? He's got 4. Okay, 2 more will join up with these. 5th base building on location. Inno's going to keep pushing. Remember, it's, even when you've got an advantage, it's hard to finish the game on this map. Sends the red hit point medevac to go drop the opponent. Spots the Mutas up here. I wouldn't mind these rocks getting taken down, actually, for Inno. Even though they kind of favor the range units, it just makes moving around this area a bit awkward and good maneuver. The double Thor drop does come up. Almost gets caught going through the slow zone. Does shoot those Mutts. Drop in the bottom left, ready to go in. Try to pull the opponent out. These Mutas are just buying so much time, man. Hive's on the way. Armor's on the way. +2 flyer attackers on the way. So those Mutas are getting good upgrades. The creep here is dead. The creep in the middle, though, looking good. Creep on the south. Keeps just getting slowed down, and I love it. The Mutas are, like, all the way over there, so he's like, come chase me to the very bottom corner of the map. Let's see if your Mutas can be out of position for that long, mate. The Mutas are going to try to hunt that down. I think you're going to need to roll a few Banes in. Yeah, look at that. Just grabs a small section of the army, sets off a bunch of Widow Mines, takes out a few of the units, and you want to do that a few times before the fight really begins. The drop in the bottom left does get cleared up. Remember, right now, 3-3 is not done. He needs another 20 seconds. Inno wants to just hold this position, slow down the creep, and keep reinforcing. SoO finally going to start to try working these Ling run-bys, and he's like, okay, Inno's not actually committing, but that Ling run-by doesn't do shit, man. And Inno's continuing to press forward right now. Oh, there's still quite a few Widow Mines in here. But the Mutas, they're all deep in the red. They're almost all gone. All the Mutas just get shot by a Thor shot as well as a Widow Mine. And I think there's just enough terror in here that the Zerg trade is kind of nasty. Actually, there are still 3 Mutas. They're staking out 1 medevac, 2 medevac, 3 medevacs. The medevacs are falling. You can't lose too many of these. He's going to hold the position. Does keep 6 medevacs alive. That's going to give him some good sustained healing, the ability to reinforce. 5th base is up. And you know what? It's 3-3 versus 2-2, guys. 3-3, Adrenal Glands is on the way, but he's rebuilding Mutas, a very expensive unit. And every time you're stuck rebuilding Mutas, you're on equal workers with the Terran. It looks like Inno is going to be able to actually push this one through. I love that he was so much more conservative with his early bio tank push. And it's kind of cool. We keep seeing the same opening from both players. You know, repeated. Very similar openings every game. But it feels like it's just going back and forth, and it's like they're both happy to just play these solid styles and really work on the execution more than anything else. Let's go. That ties up the series 2-2. Hot diddly damn. That's awesome, man. GG, well played. This is why I stopped playing Bio vs. Zerg. It's hard, man. Maybe Alpha Star would be a good topic for a special episode of your podcast for a deep dive, says Andy Snowking. No, I don't really have anything. What's the context of the machine learning rant? Oh, we were just chatting about Alpha Star and stuff. Hey, Lexicona, glad you've been learning from those videos and having a good time. Getting better on the ladder. Big thanks, Anonymous, for gifting a sub, actually, to Lexicona. Hey, oh, very kind of you, mate. Let's go into the next map. Much love, friends. Big thanks to everyone who's been kind of supporting the stream, going above and beyond. Much love. We have a lot more content planned for the next week as well. Of course, I will be taking tomorrow off. It's my day off. But happy to be streaming here. Once this series is done, we'll be doing just a bit of Protoss coaching with Sarathas, and then we'll be finishing it up. Game 5 here in the bottom left, in the blue, it is SoO. And up in the top right, it's Innovation. Yeah, I don't know enough about AI or AlphaStar to have a discussion about it, really. So I don't really have a deep dive. There's a good point from Fofu who said the difficult, like one of the difficult parts of AlphaStar was to try to make it, you know, play like a human. APM, reaction time. If you unleash the best an AI could do, it would already be better. purely due to its mechanics, of course. So the artificial rule that it should win the right way is a bias, says Fofu. It's like an audiophile talking about vinyls. The bias is on human programmers. Brute force algorithms are inhumanly good. So the thing is, there was no limit on how it played strategically. So you're correct. I mean, you can make a microbot right now, an APM bot that will beat the best players, right, without the machine learning. But this is just a topic that just came up, Wolfman. There's no new Alpha Star news. People were asking about it, and I saw a thread yesterday as well. So the thing is, you know, some people say that and they say, well, you know, the machine is better. And I'm like, yeah, mechanically. Intelligence? Fuck no. I love taunting because there's people like, no, the robots are better. And I'm like, no. So yeah. It's just one of those things where would Alpha Star, if we unlocked it, beat everyone? Yeah, I mean, we saw the show match versus Mana where it was blinking with 1,000 APM, and we were like, oh my god. But yeah, I mean, if you took the mechanics out of it, right, would it be able to win? And people are like, yeah, because it's smarter. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there's all sorts of discussions you could have about that, but I don't actually think like it showed any sense of that. Maybe there's an argument that if you unlocked its physical potential, it would also play smarter. But as far as I could tell, it never really learnt to understand the game, you know? And obviously it's like, well, that's a fallacious way of talking. It's a simple learning algorithm. It's or a machine learning algorithm. It doesn't understand things as such, or it understands them in a different way and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you just look at the way it played StarCraft and it didn't know how to react to anything. And you're like, yeah, it just never figured out how to respond to stuff. So even if you gave it unlocked APM, if it kept playing the same way it did, it still would have lost if Florencio probably every game. Right? Like, I think Florencio would be able to like 1,000-0. Who knows? Maybe if it plays against them enough, it learns though, right? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, there's an argument that it could learn how to play the game better, right? Using the same sort of algorithms and stuff. But the problem is they had to lead it. They had to say, well, you have to win. Your goal is not to play good StarCraft, it's to learn to understand. It's like that was so much of the problems with Alpha Star. That's what was so fascinating hearing those interviews and stuff where they're like, yeah, well, basically it kept worker rushing because it got rewarded for the faster it won. So it just kept worker rushing repeatedly or something, right? Like, you know, it had these weird things with like just figuring out how to even program invisible units, which is something where it's like, oh, it had to either always identify invisible units the moment it stepped into their vision on the map, or never notice they were there until they attacked it, right? They're like, well, how do you make that human? I mean, it's fascinating, just all that stuff, but they had to prompt it in the right direction. Like, they had to put in multiple carrots and sticks. So it was guided machine learning at many points with Alpha Star. It was not learning on its own. Oh my god. That's a quick eBay. It's cool to see this. This was game one, right? Everdream? Game one. Exact same build order from Innovation. So he's going to be going back to that one, the quick 3cc. Now, SoO obviously has a much better saturated kind of third basin economy this time around. You know, the lair is up, but quicker third hatch, more standard opening from SoO, and holy shit, is he going to take this fourth base? Look at this creep spread. He's got sick creep, man. SoO looks like he's in control this game, man. Now, that being said, it's a 3cc opening, so don't get me wrong. Innovation, it's like one of these things where when you do this build as a Terran, you're consciously giving room to the Zerg, and it's on the Zerg to really push that as hard as they can. Non-stop drones, going up to 6 gases, Spire, Baneling Nest. Like, this stuff's great. The thing is, that third's already floating down, dude. Like, look at the economy explosion we're going to have here. Yeah. See, barracks, factory, starport. The factory there is going to start building a tech lab. Mountain Man! Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub, dude. This really just looks like a gentleman's agreement into Lingbane Mutaverse Bio. He's going to take that fourth. I'm actually a big fan of this fourth. I think it's much harder for your opponent to push. I think this fourth gives your opponent... it's just an easier angle to attack. Don't get me wrong, big wide open spaces. Tanks along this edge aren't the best. But you can even start to siege it from up here later on, tank there and tank here and stuff. The rich gas is tempting, and if you can keep this alive, this is a free 5th base. So don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It is what almost every pro gamer does, and there is a reason for it. +1 carapace, +1 melee starts up, 6 mutas on the way. So it's always Bane speed, mutas, then the upgrades. And then a few Banelings, and then keep trickling mutas out. This seems to be the sort of like way SoO prioritizes gas spending with this build. Already up to 71 drones, non-stop Zergling Baneling production. Hellions on the left-hand side kind of find this creep is so far out on the map. Now we've got a double Marine stim drop. There's already mutas on the map. Oh shit, I don't think Inno realizes how quick these mutas were out, man. SoO reacted so greedily, so well to this opening. And he has to like just get the fudge out of there, man. These mutas are actually going across the map. Oh, who knows? Maybe he can get the 4th. Ooh, he focus fired in the wrong order. He focus fired one of the Banelings in the back first. So the Baneling in the front got a big hit on his Marines, did manage to take them out. At the same time, these mutas pick off a few SCVs. Now he does redrop as well as join up with the Hellions, and despite that one Baneling landing, remember it was just one Baneling, so it wasn't actually the absolute destruction of the Marines, but it got them all weak, so the Zerglings finished off a lot of them. Marines gonna chase off these mutas. The mutas say, wait a second, buddy. There's more of us than there are you. Good micro on both sides. 2-2, very quick here for Inno. He's also got turrets up, man. The mutas are so active. I really do feel, though, at some of these points, there must be a moment, I think, where SoO needs to disrupt Innovation's rhythm with a big Ling run by. SoO's playing such a defensive game, and I mean, it's working. It's tied 2-2, right? It's an even match. But I think there's got to be an opening where you get a Ling run by, and a big attack here from SoO. The mutas, great focus fire on the tanks, but a lot of the Banelings hit the tanks, and he doesn't even finish off. He actually missed target fired on that other tank. Oh my god, a disastrous engagement there for SoO. And, oh man, that's probably going to be game. Definitely the 4th hatch is going to go down. Wow. Innovation. Oh my lord. Oh man. Oh man. Innovation just shoving his way through. Mutas and Lings versus Mass Marine. Ow. Ow. Ah. Ow. Dead Zerg. Dead Zerg. I want to go back to the very start real quick. Let's check. So Inno does take a 3-2 lead there. He's one game away from closing it out. This is kind of crazy, dude. But I just want to check SoO's scouting. How quick did he see that 3rd CC? So he sees it at 3:30. Now, he'd already committed to a quick 3rd base, but from there, check out the queen production. So he's just on 4 queens. He does go up to 5, but this, oh, actually, no, he does get a 6th queen, but he stops at 6. So SoO's the master of defending with like minimal queens. Like, he will use his queen so well, get his creep out so early. This was such a sexy opening, and he gets those mutas out real fast. Now, I think going across the map with the mutas was greedy. I think as soon as he realized there was a drop coming out, he should have been shutting that down. But, I mean, there's an argument for going across the map with the mutas, right? He's massing Ling Bane. He's got queens. And let's just watch this. I mean, you know, it comes down to this. Yeah, imagine if the mutas were here, man. There's also only 3 Banelings. So this is also a situation where I think if SoO doubled down on the Ling Bane a little bit more here, 3 Banelings is not enough, right? They can just get focused down. Now, there was this one glitch in the machine. You're going to see him focus fire the wrong Banes. Yeah, so he queued it up. You could see actually that he queued it. So if we look at Innovation's Marines, check this. Stutter, focus fire. A move on the ground, and then he's gone A click, shift, A click, A click. But he's gone attack that one, then attack that one. And if he did it the other way around, none of them would have connected. Right? Oh no, he even target fired it manually. It wasn't even a shift click. He changed targets when it was on 1 hit point. He was shooting the right one, and then he changed targets accidentally. Oh, because he thought it would be dead to that volley. So that Bailey got a big hit. Otherwise, these Marines would have stood their ground initially and even won the game here. So I think SoO just got a bit over eager. Should have had a few more Banelings ready. I think part of the mistake was SoO not realizing that he was even pushing. So SoO's map vision sucked a little bit here, right? Yeah, he ran this Zergling out, but because Inno just dropped straight down, I don't think SoO realized that there were units coming. So he felt safe. So he was surprised. Yeah, he was surprised by that drop. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe he would have sent the Mutas. Definitely would have made more Banes and stuff. Obviously, Inno wins the game despite that little micro error. Poo-poo happens, but he does end up doing quite well. All right, guys, let's go. Game 6. Can innovation seal the deal? We'll find out. No money. Thank you so much for gifting a sub there to Vinterter, the Mountain Man with the Twitch Prime, as well as no money with the 4-bit cheer and the 20-bit cheer. Much love, fam. Appreciate that. How do you incentivize a robot? It's not like you can give it a banana or a biscuit. Can't you? Maybe give it a bit of that WD-40. Lube it up a little. It's like, oh, my gears are creaking. You know, you give it a bit of that. Probably loves that shit, mate. What do you know about the wants and needs of robots, mate? Over here on the left-hand side, go to the game 6. He's got to win 2 in a row to win the Team's Liquid Star League Grand Finals. It's the Africa Freaks. SoO. And of course, representing Kaizi Gaming on the right-hand side of Golden Wall, it's Innovation. Now, for those who don't know, this is sponsored by Shopify, a bunch of other Team Liquid sponsors. Really cool that Team Liquid went and hosted this. I think Blizzard may have supported it as well. I believe they did. And yeah. Thank you very much for sharing the replays and letting me just cast these for my own channel on my YouTube later, do a bit of analysis of the games. It's always an absolute treat, so big shout out to them for sharing the replays and letting me do this. Very standard hatch gas pool. The Overlord's just looking for proxy barracks right now. Inno hasn't done any proxy barracks this series, guys. It's kind of wild, man. All right, I'm bored of the Alpha Star conversation. Thanks for chatting with me about it, guys. Though I appreciate it. I saw someone post like a fan fiction about how they wanted to have a tournament where Alpha Star plays against Serral and Innovation, and then like the machine beats the machine and shit like that. So it was already on my mind after reading this fanboy Reddit thread that had like 0 upvotes and no responses. I may have gone too deep on Reddit Starcraft. But yeah, it was already on my mind, and then someone was asking about Alpha Star in chat, and I was like, oh yeah, let's talk about it a bit. I do prefer to be a bit more focused on the games. Notice there's no link speed starting till after the 3rd hatch here. I haven't really been analyzing the openings at all, so apologies for that one, guys. Looks like another quick 3rd hatch here for SoO, is he gonna take the 4th hatch? Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Where he pretends it's a 2-base build, but it's not. Oh, and he does. Oh, once again, Reaper barely gets out, but hatch in the top left. I like it. SoO getting a bit cheeky here. So he wants to short circuit the machine. Wants to break its logic circuits. Says, you are on 2-base, therefore you won't do this. Innovation's a very methodical player, but yeah, I mean, I've never seen this. I've never seen a Zerg just go take that hatchery on this map, so cool to see. Inno, once again, as always, pulls the mule off mining so he doesn't waste 25 minerals from the base. For those who don't know, most of the time a mule will mine its last 25 minerals, and then it'll get back, and just before it returns them to the command center, its timed life will expire. It will fall to pieces on the ground, the minerals in its hand dropping into the other. And yeah, the end of it. Queen comes in. Doesn't see shit. Reaper comes in, sorry. It sees no gas. It doesn't check the other gas. Don't think it saw that. Doesn't really know anything that's going on. He's still playing under that assumption from before. Now, of course, the hard thing is actually rallying drones, so that hatch gets difficult. I do expect to see the exact same build as last game. Lair. I like the way some Americans say lair, almost like layer. There's like a little up and down in the middle. Layer. I like it. Makes me happy. What's you guys' favorite accent? I like a really thick Scottish accent. That's one of my favorites. There are a few things that are much better than a really, really thick Scottish accent, man. Ooh! Ooh! What's this? What's this? Ooh, he's opening up a backdoor path. So he might try and push through there a bit later. Do like tank siege on the low ground. There's going to be a Liberator coming. These Hellions, are they? Oh, he's checking for a third in the back door. Ah, he's like, maybe he's mined out his back. So he's checking. Ah, okay. Ah, okay. He goes, oh no, it is a 2-base build. Okay, it is 2-base. I think we're going to see a scan dropped on the main soon. Innovation's scratching his head a little bit, guys. He's like, what's he doing? These drones, I mean, it's a bit less efficient. The drones do have to run further, but well worth it to trick your opponent, hide your goals in the game. We've got that Viking there. We've got a Liberator. How many kills has the Viking got? 0. You're playing against SoO, mate. He's the most conservative Overlord placer of all time. Ooh, lovely Ling positioning, but there's not that many to work with. I think it'll be enough, though. Oh, my God. I think he even target fired that Queen on the red hit point Hellion. Beautiful D. Beautiful D. And now the Lib comes in. The Hellions are already gone. This is a really good start here for SoO, who does not have any Queen in the... Man, he's so greedy against the Lib. I send 2 Queens to deal with a Lib every time. He's like... I think he only sent that back to inject. Oh, has he not noticed? Oh, that's a bit of a shame. I mean, he's macroing like a beast. His 4th is building where that 3rd normally would be. Innovation, of course, is actually building turrets right now. He doesn't realize the lair just finished. Oh, he's building missile turrets right now. He's already so behind on economy, man. If he's lucky, this Lib goes north and finds out what's up. But like, he's going to be like, whoa, that's a friggin' late 3rd, man. He's got to be so confused. Now, the Viking did finally pick up 2 Overlord kills, but oh, he doesn't go north.
Upgrade complete.
That's frustrating, man. SoO's tricking him, boys. SoO's a big brain, man. Are we going to take the gold? Are we going to take the gold, Innovation, Daddy? Daddy, are we going to take the gold minerals? Yes, apparently we are. 4th and 5th barracks going down. Okay, finally. Innovation's like, wait. What? How long has that been mining? Inno's mad now. The machine just got angry, man. 4th and 5th racks are on the way, but he's behind in this game, man. This is not a great position. I like that. He sieges, you can see the white line. He's sieged the Liberator zone in the corner. Make sure he doesn't accidentally F2 that back. But look at this. SoO's like, hey, buddy, I got 4 bases. I got sick creep spread. I was about to say, missing a creep tumor in the main. You got to get that creep tumor out your back door, mate. You can't just guard the front door, mate. Innovation's been to prison before, and he knows all about sliding in the back door. He's going to actually go for the very north. Now, this is a great angle. There's a corridor, high ground, low ground, really good free range units. Very hard to reinforce. Really, really hard to reinforce, man. I think this is a dangerous push. I think this might just get jumped on. That's like a handful of Marines and a tank. I don't know, man. What's SoO got? 5 Banelings, 42 Zerglings. He thought he was going to get dropped in the main. Ooh, he's going to get a Queen. Couple drones. Nice. But yeah, the Lings aren't going to run away. They're like, hey, there's a tank in the open. Kill it. Good high ground drop, though. Hey. Hey, nicely done, nicely done. And it's only 1 tank, right? I guess you don't care too much. He's still building more tanks. So he's still doing this style. With that gold base, I think he's going to go 3 more barracks rather than second factory this game. Push, push, push style. The push, push, push. Push, push, push. Meanwhile, 4th base is over here. Only 7 drones on it, but 7 more on the way. He's going to get closer and closer to saturation. This time, 2-2 is lined up. No upgrade advantage. But you know what? I feel like SoO's map control is a bit shit right now, and he's still not threatening or punishing with any run bys. Now, he's got muters, so don't get me wrong. You can play a purely defensive style, and you're going to punish him by killing the push. But I feel like he's letting Inno get set up a bit more than he should. Inno's almost kind of rallying across the map a little bit, and there's going to be a chance here to take a good fight. SoO is in a bit of an awkward position. These tanks are so far back. This creep, it's receding, but it's not receding that fast, man. Good transfuse. These Queens buying a lot of time. I love the patience from SoO, but I'd love it even more if there was a backstab going on right now. He's just going to jump on it before the reinforce gets here. Good timing from SoO. The Banes are very clumped. The tanks do focus fire them, but you know what? Those Banelings, they hug in close. They get within the minimum firing range of the tanks so the tanks couldn't shoot. And then as the Zerglings and Mutas kill the tanks, the Banelings continue chasing down these Marines. I think he's going too far, though. I actually think, if he can focus fire the Banes... Oh, he does. He's got a lot of Marines. Is it enough? No, there's more Banes coming in from behind. And it looks like SoO there. He doesn't even blink, mate. He's like, dude, do you think I'm afraid, mate? Do you think I'm afraid? And actually, really big payoff there. Oh, the Banelings even hit the Marines. SoO chases him right to his side of the map. He could branch up there and get that fourth. He doesn't know about it, but if he looks for it, he'll get a free command center snipe. He's in big trouble. Starting Thors, starting Widowmines, his 4 CC. If it gets up, he's still got an ability to get back in this game, but it's a little bit rough. The turret, nice snipe. Gets a couple of SCVs, gets a missile turret. And you know what? He's going to take his own gold base. I don't like that base because it's so easy to attack, but he takes that one as well. So if one goes down, he can always rotate to the other. Still has a big pack of Mutts. And you know what? Inno gets a fourth up. He's okay. He's okay. He's not dead. The creep is looking quite good. As long as that keeps spreading, I'm feeling very good for SoO's position. But it's a bit awkward. You've got so much map to spread creep across. It's kind of hard to keep it going on every angle the entire game long. I like this. 4 Marines, 2 turrets. That Muta count. 18 Mutas. +1 attack, +2 on the way. He's very good at continuing those upgrades. Infestation Pit's on the way as well. Up to 84 drones. And I think SoO's at the point where, honestly, he can just max out on Ling Bane and just roll into one of these command centers and just take it out. Inno kind of knows this. He's spread out. The Muta's like, hey, you're actually defending both sides, but you're not defending the middle. Ooh, doesn't quite get the tank. The Thor and the Marines chase him off. I almost feel these tanks should never leave these bases from this point on. Innovation. Just needs to go mega late game. No, he's going to try to push. Does he start 3-3, do you think? Doesn't have the gas right now. He's trying to just max out. He might just try to push really hard on 2-2. Couple Lings coming over. The Mutas as well. Kind of looking for this right now. There aren't many spotting overlords on the map, are there? Looks like that medevac did slide past, unspotted by the Zerglings. And it's going to be able to get right up there. Yeah, SoO's map vision a little lacking. But this is what he was waiting for. That's not a big army. Oh my god! Watch out, Innovation! It's all about those Widowmines. I think they need to be spread a bit more, and his Marauder count isn't quite there yet. He's getting more barracks, more tech labs. He's not quite there yet. And he's actually... Wait, he's got a drop there, and he's trying to do 2-pronged pushes to clear the creep. Very ambitious play. Oh, the Muta's going to rotate and hit the gold, though. Suddenly, Inno is going to have to look in 5 places at once. The gold has 3 turrets, actually. He's going to go for the main, which also has more turrets and Marines in it. On the front, the Ling Bane getting pushed back. These Marines are like, actually, shit, I forgot about these guys. If those Widowmines burrow, though, I think it'll be okay. Whoop. Manual detonate. Good manual detonate there from SoO. Takes out the Widowmines before they can fire. It's not a big army, but Inno has a lot of money. He's got a lot of production, so he just wants to kind of lure SoO into bad trades, split his attention, and make him take bad Widowmine hits. As far as it goes, though, SoO seems to be the one who's taking the good fights. So the Mutas come in, chase the medevacs off. All those Marines go down. There's still a few Widowmines out on this map. +3 attack is now on the way, but guess what? So is +3 melee, +3 carapace, adrenal glands, ultra Kevin, and macro hatch finally goes down. SoO's like, dude, I'm gonna need to remax after one of these fights. I need more lava. The Ling Bane coming in. He pulls a lot of the Banelings home. Goes in with a lot of his units, but you know what? This fight's actually going all right for Inno, but it's that reinforce is so big, and guess what? You're out of Widowmines. You're out of splash damage. That Thor, it's at a 7 hit point medevac right now. It's going to go down. It does drop just in time. Picks up with a healthier medevac, but that one goes down. The Marines, they get kind of choked up behind the Marauders. They do gun down those units. You know what? Keeps his economy alive. Loses a few depots. Doesn't even supply block him. He's got extra command centers. He's got a 5th up in the north. This game's going to go on. Kindness Blading's on the way. Ultras are going to hit the field. There's no libs out yet. Can get dangerous, but I guess with 4 Marauders building at a time, Ultras aren't necessarily the game-winning thing, right? Ooh. 4 Marauders. 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 Hello, have you heard about our Lord and Savior, +3 melee Zerglings? The SCVs are like, no, I have... They just get their face ripped in half. Jesus, 18 SCVs down. So now his economy's bruised. He's got to rebuild those workers. Inno does not have a lot of money. He's only got 1 starport, guys. I'd love to see a second starport. I do think he'll probably need some libs or some ghosts or something to deal with this next stage of the game. We've got those lovely Brood War Kindness Plating Ultra skins in. Kindness Plating almost done. Anabolic Synthesis. That is, of course, a 10% movement speed upgrade for the Ultras off creep. On creep, same speed. Off creep, 10% boost. Does help them out a lot. We've got some Banelings here. Oh, I like that. That's a cute one. He realizes, hey, the minerals are mined out. Let's kill some SCVs. Create a bit more chaos. Open up another angle. Quick reaction from Innovation. Loses a couple turrets. Oh. You know, he's got to get his army down here. A lot of it's spread on the north side. This is the scary thing. SoO's running around with this killer ball of death. And Inno's army's kind of spread trying to cover all of his bases. And SoO's going to jump on top. Oh my god, some huge Widow Mine hits. A lot of Banelings go down. I think this might actually be okay for Innovation. Those Marauders look like they will go down. Oh no, the Medivacs, he's got to get those to safety. He's actually decided to counterattack. I thought that army from the north would be coming down to reinforce and protect his base, but it's actually going to dive on the economy of SoO. A ballsy maneuver from Inno. I'm not sure if it's the right one. I feel like this army's going to get cornered. SoO making a mature decision to just pull back, doesn't commit to killing the gold orbital. And a hatch and 6 drones are going to go down. But so's this whole army. I mean, he's going to trade as well as he can, but even the Broodling's doing a fair bit of tanking there. And after all those trades, I mean, that's... SoO's 4,000 resources more efficient in this game. It's hard to get a push across this map, and especially that top side of the map so far away. Inno's like, all right, let's just multi-drop. He's like, look, I need to just build up, defend, survive. Maybe I can buy time with drops, run in, stim this. I don't think SoO's going to give him time. When SoO senses he's ahead, he likes to go and kick his opponent's teeth in, you know? They say, mate, time out. You accidentally poked me in the eye. And that's the moment where SoO literally just pulls out his fucking sword that he somehow had tucked down his undies and just chops his opponent's head off. He's a psychopath. He will attack. He will not give his opponent any moment to recover. No respite for the dead. Liberator's coming in. I do like the double lib siege. The double drop and the double lib siege, it's buying time. It is going to allow Inno time to remax, or at least get closer to remaxing than he would have otherwise. Those queens do take that one down. This lib doing a good amount of denied mining time as well, but SoO's angry. That's a lot of space cows with a whole lot of bursty boy baneling acidic explosions of doom. It's a good marauder count, but you're going to need to stutter that for about 17 screens before you take care of these ultras. He's going to try to run away. Inno realizes he is done, and a lovely opening that game. SoO with the corner base takes him out, tricks him. And yeah, that was sick, dude. He's just like, I'm going to take the corner base. You think I'm on 2 base, but I'm on 3. Innovation's building missile turrets and shit. And he's like, wait, you have an insane economy. So we're going to go straight into game 7. Let's go. I don't mind Golden Wall. I find Zen and Purity with the maps I would actually fall apart on a little bit more. It's definitely a different map, though. Mark Zuckerberg is your least favorite robot? Well, I'm just amazed that he's so well programmed, and yet they didn't put any effort into the water drinking realism. They're just like, oh, nah, we'll just make him put some water in his mouth. And he's like... You're like, what is he doing? You're like, what? Okay. They were like, no, we're going to spend time programming everything else, man. Good old Mark Zuckerberg. He's me favorite. You know, there was a book written about him. I think it was called 1984. They called him Big Brother in that book, but apparently his name's just Mark. Who knew? Proxy Rax is finally coming out, guys. It's game 7. I thought we were going to see another epic game. Inno's done. He has not proxy raxed all series long, and he saved it for game 7. This is the championship match. The winner of this match wins TSL5. And he's like, lol, gonna build it right in front of your natural. Look at this. SoO scouting to the right and to the left. He's like, no one would build a barracks right in front of my natural. Oh my god, dirty. Now it's only a 2 racks, but he's going to go gas, so he's going to have the quicker factory behind it. This is the classic one that Maru used many times in 2018. It's still a scary push. It can still win the game, but you've got a more... it's not as all-in. It's got a smoother follow-up. Even if you don't kill the hatch, if you just kind of force a lot of Zerglings, kill a bunch of drones, it is enough. But SoO has no idea this is coming, man. Oh, no. He's like just chilling. Please build an Overlord right now. Please build an Overlord. Don't build a 20th drone. Overlord, 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 Overlord. Okay, he's going to find it. Builds another drone. Shit. Oh, he really needs an Overlord. Let's just hope he doesn't lose that Overlord. He can get to the high ground. He'll be fine. I don't think the Overlord matters, actually. He finds it. He finds it. Oh, God. Oh, God. You got to get down there now. Not just one drone. You need to pull like 10. Or is he just going to give up the hatch? Oh, no. SoO. Wait. Was he not watching? Oh, he wanted to build a spine behind the hatch. No, he's just going to give it up. Oh my god, he's thinking about it. He doesn't know what to do. This drone's like, shit. Shit. Oh, man. All right, so he's making Ling speed. He's pulled off gas. What do you do here? Oh, he's going to try and take a 4th, but the SCV. Inno knows. Inno's like, nah, man, I'm going to see what you do. I want to see what you do here. And SCV goes in the main, has a little look around. I mean, the bunker up. That hatch is got to be dead unless he pulls drones, right? I don't think you can overwhelm this with Zerglings. He's going to go for it, though. I think he's going to go with both queens and all the Zerglings, and he's just going to try and fight it. I think the hatch is dead. Oh, the Zerglings are going to go, man. He clicked on the hatch. He's target fired the hatch. Inno says, I don't care if you kill this as long as I get the hatch. Doesn't even try to fight the Zerglings. He gets the hatch just barely. Doesn't even let them kill the kill the Zerglings. And he says, that's fine. I killed your hatch. Your opening's messed up. Now, SoO's not dead, but that is a big delay on a hatch. He's stuck on one base mining. He's got to put these back to mining in there. The Lings go across the map. There's already a factory out. He's going to build 1 Hellion. He's got 2 Marines hidden there, which he'll slowly work their way home, trying to not get those caught by the Zerglings. And then he wants to build a reactor and a tech lab, most likely. Now, remember, Command Center is very slow off this build. I do like that the barracks can scout, but the queens are going to take care of that pretty quickly. Now, he sees no gas mining. That tells him he's safe. There's no chance of a Ravager bust. There's no chance of anything else. Oh my god! Whoa! SoO there! Oh my god, his Ling speed kicks in, almost gets a Hellion. Now there's nothing behind the wall. Oh man. He's got to run to those Marines. Oh dude, Inno messed up. He should not be outside his wall with his Hellion right now. And why? He's microing like a Bronze Leaguer. You're meant to keep running there. You're not meant to keep attacking that frequently. Wasn't a Bronze Leaguer. I'm sorry, guys. He's an amazing player. No hate, but it was a mistake. He's panicking right now. He was not expecting that many Zerglings or something. And now he's got to repair. It's costing him a lot. His Marines get caught. SoO's like, lol. Third base. Oh, man. If this was a 3 or 4 racks, I think Inno just wins. But the 2 racks. Is it enough? CC's up. Now he's got Hellions building. There's only 3 queens, I believe. There's a 4th building right now. There's a good handful of Lings. I mean, Hellions aren't really going to be able to do anything big. And there's so much threat of backstab as well in the next minute or so. I mean, this barracks is going to burn down. The other one has floated home, but it hasn't built any add-ons yet. I'm actually liking this position for SoO. I think he's got great creep and enough control. I don't think the hatch was a big enough win there. I don't know, though. Do you pull more SCVs to repair the bunker? Do you just fight the Zerglings and try to win the engage? Did he need to start a second bunker before the creep got out to really commit to that? I do not know. All I know is that SoO's handled this as well as he could have, and an unscouted 2 racks is not going to be sealing the deal by any means. The Viking. It's a Viking against SoO. SoO's Overlord's actually on his side of the map for once, but he can't find him. Now, the Liberator's going to come over. The Hellions are coming out. But he's got to leave 2 at home for safety. He's going to start by walling off that side and then wall off this entrance as well. Overlord comes through. A second Lib. More Hellions on the way. A lot is resting on these Libs and Hellions, slowing down SoO's economy. SoO's already up 11 drones. He's going for a Roach War, and he's probably going to try and just overwhelm this game with Mass Roach Ravager. It's one of his favorite styles. This Lib's going to come in. SoO doesn't seem to be paying attention right now. He got a few glimpses of this, but he hasn't reacted just yet. Queen cops a shot. She does get around the Lib, though. Lib's going to reposition. Most important thing here is to keep that Lib alive. It's not being positioned very well there, but the Queen does not pursue. Hellions here looking for an angle. Now, that's a big Ling backstab. And these Hellions are rallying across the map. Oh, I worry about that. But a good siege up with the Lib on the natural. Hellbat's on the front. Oh my god, it's actually a Hellbat Lib assault. Holy shit, at the same time, Hellions get caught by the Zerglings. That's a big pack of roaches. That's exactly what you need against this. This Lib did some good damage. It does pull back. That Lib pulls back as well. These Hellbats, though, are just getting wrecked by the roaches. And now there's Zerglings in the natural. Oh, man. Oh, God, I think, oh, I mean, can he... He's not dead yet. Oh, he can turn around and fight in the grass, actually. Oh, you gotta pull further back. Further back. Yeah. I mean, he gets some damage, but look at that micro from SoO. Oh, he even heals it. Oh, no. My God. Is SoO just gonna win with this Roach Ravager counterattack? I like that siege. Forces 3 Ravager eggs to cancel. Nice. The Viking and the Marauder here land. That Viking's gonna go down, though. Ah! The Lib siege is up on these ones. Can it get them? Oh, it gets one. Oh, it does get another one, but it's very low on hit points. That bunker needs to finish. He needs to get the Marauders in the bunker. He needs to get the Marauders in the bunker. Oh, will they get in? I mean, it's already so low. It's going to go down almost immediately. Oh, man. Even though the bunker does get up, guess what? That Lib has gone down. It's just 2 Marauders, a Hellion, and a Dream. And right now, there's a whole lot of Zerg excitement because it looks like he's going to be able to do it. There's Lings rallying in. You're never going to be able to retake that natural. The Lib does get sniped. And with that, all the tools of Terran are gone. Oh, Jesus. The Banshee comes forward. And look at that! SoO is such a YOLO lord. No matter how inefficient the engagement, when he knows he's ahead and he's got the numbers, SoO will break your fist with his head. He will literally break your fist with his nose. Losing to SoO, it's one of the most... He always shows dominance in victory. It's like, yeah, I'll run 40 Lings up a choke point into 3 Hellions and 3 Marauders. And you're like, what? He's like, well, I have infinitely more units. I'm going to kill even more SCVs. I'm going to take what was a big lead into an epic lead. 57 drones versus 12 SCVs. Inno not willing to give up here. This is, of course, the final championship game. But, I mean, hats off to SoO, dude. I just stays cool, collected, and, yeah. Oh, what's that? Fresh mule? What's that? You don't have a wall. My name's SoO, and you don't have economy. Oh, my God. Hot diddly damn. GG, well played. And I can't help but think, like, what if this was just a 3 or 4 racks? You can't even stop the bunker. Or what if he built a second bunker? I guess with this version, you never build a second bunker? Or you got to cut Marines or slow down the factory and the second gas if you want to do that? But I mean, you look at this and you kind of got to say to yourself, like, whoa, it looks like it was really shit for Inno, right? Now, don't get me wrong. It's a good engage by SoO. It didn't look great for Inno. But I think if this Hellion stayed inside, like, I think this was just a bit of a, you know, he was like, cool, your link speed's not ready, ha, let's kill some. And I mean, this was just such a ballsy move by SoO, right? It's like, my link speed's about to kick in. And this, I think this caused a lot of damage. Yeah, and then I think, honestly, it's like, this wasn't great for Inno, but it wasn't game over by any means, but then he just chose to commit to the wrong build order. He went for double Lib Hellbat, and that's just not good against a Roach opening. The Roaches deal with the Hellbats, the Queens deal with everything else. Like, this is an amazing build if they're only on Ling Queen, if they're trying to rush Mutas, which he's done every other game. So I admire the fact that Innovation changed it up, but SoO did the safest opening of all time, and I don't know if it was a reaction to the opening, saying, you know what, there's a lot of weird follow-up aggressions that can come off this, but these Roaches just shut down those Hellbats. It made it easy to defend the Libs. The Ling run by at the same time was obviously a disaster, and from there, GG, well played. SoO is your TSL5 champion. What an absolute monster! GG, well played, SoO. He's a man who normally comes second place, but he is the champion once again. GG, well played. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this series. Sorry, it does take a little bit to get in and out of games since the patch just came out. Hope you don't mind the, like, Pig, analyze more. Yeah, I did talk about Alpha Star for like half of the early game of the entire first half of that series. Other than that, I think we talked about the games enough. But and if we do any more of these casts, I'll try to do some more focus on the games and the analysis. I really like doing those little rewinds and trying to learn kind of what was the crucial point for the player, or what was one of these big things. And yeah, double lib Hellbat is hugely committed, and it's not great against roaches. Roaches can shoot a Hellbat, pull back, shoot a Hellbat, pull back, shoot a Hellbat, pull back, and GG's. Innovation, he went for all the gambles in the final game. It didn't pay off. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you next time. Goodbye and good night.